Today, we're diving into a topic that confuses a lot of homeowners, especially those using a VA home loan: pre approval versus a pre qualification. You might be asking yourself, what's the difference? Why should I focus on one and not the other? Especially if you're planning to use your VA home loan benefits, knowing the difference between these two terms can make or break your home buying journey. So stick around as we go through all the differences. So first thing we're going to talk about is what is a pre-qualification. It's also like getting a pre-qualification letter. So basically what that means, it's the initial step in the home buying process. It's basically an estimate of how much you can borrow based on a quick overview of your financial situation. So, some of the key pieces to that is that you don't have to submit any official documentation when you do these. It's all based on the information that you provide verbally. They also will take a look at your credit report in this process, but that's pretty much what they do, right? They verbally take your income, verbally take your assets, and they say, voila, here's a letter that you can go make an offer on a property for that, right? And the challenge, I think, with that is that it's a ballpark amount of how much you can roughly estimate in your monthly payment and what the purchase price is going to be. And that's another side note, is I want you guys, when you are shopping for a home, focus in on what the payment is, not what the purchase price is. Because the purchase price is just a rough estimate, especially if you're looking at condos or different areas. Taxes and HOA dues can vary widely throughout that process. And again, with the pre-qualification, you're not really getting much of a definitive answer. And thanks to folks like yourselves for reaching out to us. You may be going through a process and me run into a hiccup. Always happy to take a look at your situation. You guys can always schedule a call down below. Now, what is a pre-approval? Now, a pre-approval is a more in-depth analysis of your finances. So in this process, you will provide all your income documentation, including bank statements, tax returns, W-2s, 1099s, whatever proof that needs to exist around your income, along with having your credit. Plus, you're going to also have all your asset information uploaded. Now, for some of you, that might sound like it's a painful process, and it can be, especially if you're not prepared for this. But I'll tell you that it makes sense to go this route because you just have less pain points once you go under contract. And a side note with tax returns, not all the time do you actually need them. Now, I'll give you guys a good example because this does come up and it ends up hurting people down the line. There's a lot of people that have regular W-2 jobs, but then they have a side gig, like, I don't know, photography, or they may be a handyman on the side, or something along those lines where they make extra money towards their overall income. The challenge is when you depreciate, or not depreciate, when you expense a lot against your business, and let's say you're actually negative. Let's say maybe a business idea didn't work out, or you're trying to start a business, but you might be negative in your revenue, and that's transferring to your taxes. So what the lenders we're gonna do is they're gonna actually search your name against the database to see if you own any businesses. And this happens like after you go under contract on a property and you only provided W-2 information. So if they see that you had self-employment income, they're going to request your tax returns, which can then open up a can of worms. That's why you always want to provide everything to the lender so they can review it, and then they'll be able to let you know, like, hey, this is what you can do. Another part of this is that this also weighs more with sellers because they at least know that you took the proper steps to get a pre-approval, and just being more serious about that process because, again, you want to be able to avoid those hiccups. Now, a lot of times people will get pre-approval letters, but they will actually be pre-qualified. And it just really depends on the lender that's out there and what their process is. You want to make sure that everything that you've been provided, they're going to be actually reviewing it. And also, as a side note to this, there is really no time frame that you should be like, as far as like being far out, if you're a year out from being able to purchase a property or wanting to purchase a property, I would say go ahead and talk with somebody, and we're always happy to help you. You can schedule a call with us down below. And another part of this pre-approval process is also getting your certificate of eligibility, because it normally comes back automatically, but there are times where we have to provide additional documents to the VA in order for them to either make sure that you're eligible for the VA home loan. But again, the big piece to this is eligibility, time and service, and character of discharge. And then the other part's going to be qualification. That's why you submit your tax returns, your bank statements, and your tax and your pay stubs. Important piece in this pay stubs, and I do videos around this, is VA primarily looks at what's called residual income, which is your net income after state, federal, Social Security, all that fun stuff gets taken out. All your monthly liabilities on your credit report also get subtracted from that. And they also count 14 cents per square foot for utility cost, also gets factored into that. And then it gives you like a dollar amount that you need to meet. Most of the time when people run into issues, it's residual income based because they don't provide the information up front. So keep that in mind, because you are in control of your situation. Another piece to this is why pre-approvals are critical in a competitive market. So first, things are very fast-paced, and the more you know about your financial position, both from talking with a lender and doing your own budgeting, which I'm a huge fan of, that pre-approval letter gives you a better out to get that property. Also, when you're making offers on a property, make sure that your loan officer is also being CC'd on the emails so they can reach out to the listing agent right away. Plus, you want someone that's really available, to be honest with you, 7 days a week, because during banking hours, rarely people make offers. It's always evenings and weekends when you really need somebody's help to walk you through something, or at least get some information on the process. The other part is pre-approvals, like I mentioned, show seriousness to the sellers that you are ready to do this, and the loan officer can talk to your situation and say, yes, we do have everything qualified. And this also really gives you a reduced anxiety when you're going through that process. A lot of times, what you want to put yourself in a position is that you are able to purchase the property. It's going to be your decision if you want to back out for whatever reasons. Home inspection, value comes in low, you don't agree with it. And it also just gives you more negotiating power in this process to be able to talk with sellers that you are well qualified to go through that piece. So those are also just good things to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to should you get that pre-approval or pre-qualification, a lot of times if it's something super fast that you need something on the fly, yes, you may get an initial pre-qualification and then have that turn into a pre-approval, but you should have all the documents lined up specifically for your situation so you can provide that. Now, how long these approvals last for, typically it's about 90 days. And the reason why it's 90 days is because credit lasts 90 days. And after that, in order to get an updated credit report, you need to repull credit and look at your entire financial situation again. So you do have to submit updated documents to the lender. So you go through that period. So if you guys have questions or you are looking to get into the home buying process, I'm happy to help. You guys can schedule a link with me. Well, I can't talk today. You can schedule a call with me down below, and I'm happy to help. So I'll talk to you guys soon.